Hi everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I am here today with Edyta Sitar. How are you?
I'm good. It's so nice to be here
again.
It's
always a pleasure to have you. Always a pleasure to have you back. And Edyta, like me, loves blue and white, and we share that in common. And we've got some fun things to show you today, and we're going to talk about the new block of the month, Winter Village, which you see behind us right here. But because this fabric is so amazing, I mean, there's just so many different patterns and colors, we wanted to just quickly show you a couple of other things that that she's made out of that fabric. So
I love blue and white
Yes,
quilts.
me too.
Anytime I get a new collection, I can't help myself but make some fun quilts. And one of my favorites is applique. So I have some of these quilts, but foundation piecing, pineapple quilt in blue and white. Oh,
it's so
it
beautiful.
Looks so beautiful on the bed. And a simple 9-patch. I mean, you can't go wrong. So when you're making your block of the month, save all your little leftovers. Maybe you're gonna make a little 9-patch quilt.
Tiny ones, yeah.
But let's focus on the quilt that is behind us.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did this last year. We did a block of the month with you, Harmony.
Yeah, it was.
And oh my gosh,
so
people loved that one.
Yeah,
and so when I saw this blue and white one, I'm like, we got to do this one.
Harmony had applique, and then the piecing was the finishing touch to it. This time we're reversing the roles, and in this quilt you have 8 beautiful pieced blocks. And by blocks, I mean sections of the quilt. So there is a section of a quilt, there are many different variety of houses in it, and there are 8 of them, and the 9-month is the applique, and that's the finishing touch, a little detail that you will add to your quilt.
So pretty, so pretty.
So every month you're gonna get a beautiful selection of fabric that you're gonna work from, and I just pull out some pieces for our first house, and I just want to talk to you about the pattern for a few minutes.
Please. I love houses anyway.
Houses, lovely?
Yeah.
And with this pattern, what it's so much fun, you have so many different homes. So if you fall in love with a house, you can make dozen and dozen and dozen and repeat
just that house.
Just that one. But I thought a little change. You have a house, you have a garage, you have a condo. Yeah.
And then look at the little birds.
Yeah.
So
the
cute.
applique add really nice touch to it. So first you have the cover. Then you're gonna find an applique directions. It's usually on the back of your cover. And the first 3 pages, it's your full layouts for your appliques. And all your appliques is gonna come in your block of the month pre-cut already.
Yeah, so you have the pattern here, so if you want to do it over, but really...
And for the layout, you need it. The pattern, you need it for the layout. So this is all your pre-cut pieces.
I love the cutouts.
Your snowflakes, so convenient. You
beautiful,
can't imagine.
just beautiful.
Yeah. So that's gonna be those few. And then we move on to our first block. And right here, you're gonna have your first block, and that's the one that we're gonna work on it right now.
Okay.
Yes.
So then, do you get the whole pattern at once, or does this come with the directions for each one?
I believe you get the whole pattern at once, and then, but you have your first block, your first house, second house, third house, and then as soon as you finish your third house, it shows you how to frame to a section for the first unit. So this is your first block. This is what you're gonna make.
Okay.
You make 3 houses in your first block. Then you make.
You could actually
section.
just even use that little piece, couldn't you?
Yes, and I brought some example. I'm going to show you.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can use a section and use it as a table runner if you would like that.
So pretty.
Yeah.
All right.
So
well, let's get on to how we're going to make this.
One thing at a time. Yeah. Right. So first house. Super excited what's coming, but let's look at first house.
Do you need the directions, or have you made it enough that you know?
I think, yeah, I made it enough, but I want to show you something, how I do things, so maybe that way you want to do it with me. I select my fabrics for my first house. I have lights and a dark, and I have a list of pieces that I'm going to cut. So I will grab my rotary and a ruler, and I'm going to start cutting. And I don't know if you do this.
You're ready to go.
But yeah, when I cut things, I start up from the top on my list, and as soon as I cut it, I cross it off the list.
I do that
too. So I cut a cut it, it's the 2 little rectangles right here. So I cut those, set it down, cross it off the list. Next piece, another piece, everything that I cut, I go ahead and cross it off the list.
It's such a good idea. It's so easy to get mixed up with
Yes.
that. And so,
It
yeah,
helps
absolutely.
me. And when I cut my pieces, I right away line them by my sewing machine, so that way I have a visual that, yes, I indeed did cross off the list. I have everything ready. And
I like that you shaded them so that it looks
Thank
light,
you.
medium, and
Yeah.
dark. Yeah.
because you can change the colors. You don't have to do it in blue and white. We're doing in blue and white, but also the shading gives me a value where I envision that you're going to go a little darker on a roof.
Okay.
And this is going to be the house. So I have all my pieces ready, set, go. And what I want you to notice that is simple strips, simple squares, rectangles. Make sure you save all of your leftovers, because this was leftover from the strip that I cut it here. I end up using that for for my roof.
Oh,
so
okay.
before you cut another piece, check if any of the leftovers could work nice for you.
Oh,
and
that'll
what's
be
so special
perfect.
with this one is, with every block, I right away cut my sashings. There are sashings between all of the houses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
These ones here.
So I go ahead and cut them. So when it comes to assemble the whole quilt, I already have
You're
my
ready to go.
sashings on the blocks.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this is all the pieces
And so
that I need.
yeah, so right here it says light fabric for sashing, and you're good to go.
Yep, cross it off the list, done, and it's gonna have a really fun, scrappy feel to it. And
I think when you're doing a block of the month, it's a really good idea to cut that first. Like if you're working
Yeah.
on a house one, do all your cutting first. Don't cut as you go, because you're
Cut
gonna get.
it,
I think you're gonna
it
get
ready.
confused.
Yeah. And especially when you get a kit, you want to pull up the fabrics, and you can look at on a picture, but also go to the website, and you have a large pictures on a website where you can see it more, where we position any of the colors. I think you would enjoy it how I did that.
So pretty.
So we're gonna start by checking our 1/4 inch seam allowance. So what
Okay.
I like to do is I take the chimney unit, what it's 2 light rectangle and 1 dark, sew them together, put them right sides together, sew it, flip it open, push the seam allowance towards the dark. And speaking of the seam allowances, I would like you to notice that I don't have too many arrows on my pattern. Only where I'm breaking the rules, I put my arrows. So for this right here, I have an arrow towards light, where normally 101 quilting, you push your seam allowance towards dark. So anytime I would like you to break a rule, I make sure I put an arrow and see if you would like to do it that way. Otherwise,
She's a rule breaker.
yeah. Where it benefits us, I'm going to show you that unit right here for the roof, how nice it is and how it works.
Okay.
So right here, we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance as soon as we sew this together. And I have this prepared for us. Let's move
Phew, I'm
those
so
guys.
glad. I thought I was going to have a test there for a minute.
It's coming up.
Oh, no.
As soon as I did that, I noticed, I measured it, and now I know that this is 3.5 by 3.5, so my 1/4 inch seam allowance is right.
Okay.
And first, what we're going to do, I'm sorry, I have to take this apart. We're gonna start
Oh my
by
goodness, this is genius.
placing our square down that we just prepared for our chimney. Draw a line, start sewing from
you
this
guys,
point.
You may not have known this 3-piece right here. This is the chimney block, and she's putting it
Yes.
on there like a flying geese.
Yeah.
So that is genius right there.
And notice it that when we first sewed this, we placed it this way. But when you wanted to sew it to your rectangle, you need to put it horizontal.
Right.
So when you flip it open, it ends up standing up. Because if you do it the other way, it's not going to happen.
No, that's
for us.
perfect.
So,
and I love you flip it up and it makes a chimney.
yeah, makes a chimney.
Great
Next
idea.
thing, I'm gonna take a ruler and a rotary, and I'm gonna trim off gently, staying a 1/4 inch away. And we just talk about rotary and rulers. Switching for a fresh blade, always a good thing. So we cut that off, and now we're gonna flip it open, and we have a beautiful chimney. This is just little leftovers that we're gonna throw it away. Now it's the other side, so we're gonna place a square, draw a line again, start stitching. I always start from the top. Do you?
I do.
Yeah, go to the point right here, zoom, 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 trim it, and flip it open. This time, I want you to push your seam allowance this way, what it's towards the light. When you do that, notice it. Now put your finger on it. You get a really nice transition there. And when I start sewing from here straight down, all my pieces are going in the right direction.
Perfect.
So I don't go against my sewing machine. Well, and this would be the roof. Now we need the house. We have a window. We're gonna sew a rectangle on the bottom, push seam allowance towards the dark. Then we're gonna sew 2 pieces on the left and the right, and we have a house unit. This should be 6.5 by 6.5. If it is, boom,
yeah,
we just built a house. We're gonna sew this together, add the top to it.
And then our little house is done. How cute is that?
Yep, and no question, there we have a beautiful low house.
Oh.
Yeah, a nice transition right here. And again, when I'm pushing my seam allowances, I push them down towards this. Why did I do it? Because I want a nice transition right here. And when I add my sashing, I make sure I pin it. And I don't know, do you use these pins?
We do.
Yeah, I absolutely love
they're
those.
So smooth.
Oh, they're just amazing. And sometimes if I forget to take it out before I run it with a sewing machine, boy, they are just amazing. So those little glass pins are very handy.
Yeah, I like the glass heads.
And as soon as you finish your first one, it's like potato chips. I'm telling you, you cannot stop. You want to cut your second house and make your second house, and then third one, and then you're sitting and waiting
for the next month.
Yeah. So in case you love this block and you're waiting for next month, you can make dozen. It makes a really cute beach house and a wonderful quilt.
It would be a cute quilt, just all the same out. Yeah, really cute.
And many times I show in my students in my classrooms when we all make this block, how nice this block goes with, only those blocks go together. And you can just shift it a little bit to make the houses go on a hill or maybe this way.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it makes a really fun arrangements, and it's a wonderful little block. So as soon as you sew them, you finish one block, then you're gonna finish another one and another one, and this would be your first section of the quilt. Press it, set it, and then wait for your next block when it comes in.
Not so patiently, probably.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually true with most block of the months. Once you finish a block and you're like, oh, I really can do this. Yeah, you get really excited, and then.
And what I love about this block of the month is just this quilt is beautiful to display in your household. But also with every block you're learning something. Like our first, just that simple block teach you how to flip that chimney the right way.
Oh yeah, that's
your
genius.
Second one,
I love the chimney flip.
Your second one, quarter square triangles, how to do those and spin the center. Then you go how to align those windows. And I don't know if you do that. When I have pieces like this, where I don't have a seam right here, I crease a line, and that way I can align with my crease line, and
that's
I have
a great
my windows
idea.
in
Great
the same
idea.
Line. So that would be for the...
I love all the tips too.
Oh, they're just wonderful blocks. And with everyone, you're going to discover something that you learn as you build your home. So the next step we would do is open our silhouettes and place them onto our quilt and then stitch around the edges. And I love that the silhouettes are already pre-cut.
Oh my
Each
gosh.
package includes the birds in it, what is kind of nice. And one package is one side of the quilt. So that is super cool because you can put one side, the other side, and finish with flores of snowflakes if you would like. And there are 6 snowflakes in the package.
So pretty.
Yeah.
And they just iron on.
Yeah, so last month, the 9 month, we just ironed them on, and you can use a zigzag stitch, blanket stitch, if you want to emphasize the colors.
I'm looking closely at her stitching.
Snowflakes, you just stitch through the centers if you would
they're
like.
Beautiful, just beautiful.
And speaking of making MOA blocks, so if you enjoy it, you can make few extra blocks, make a little pillow. And notice the stitching on the pillows right there through the snowflakes.
Beautiful.
And I like to use a blanket stitch to
I
show
do
off
too.
some of the threads. And the cotton thread feels really nice.
And look at the little bird. He's got 2 little pieces.
Yeah,
so
he's
cute.
just adorable. just adorable.
And these snowflakes, I mean, there's just like a million things you could do with these snowflakes. So let me ask you that. Can you buy the snowflakes individually?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
you can.
and Missouri Star has them on their website.
Oh, very
so you
fun.
can order them, and they're just wonderful. There are
Very
6
cool.
snowflakes, 3 large and 3 small.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in California, so we don't get much snow. My children take the snowflakes, peel the paper, and they glue them to the windows.
Oh, cute.
It is so cute. In
That's
our
really
office, the girls do it. We have maple leaf snowflakes that are always made up their way to our windows, and we get a little
We actually
extra
had our
colors.
first snow the other night.
No.
Yeah, like I came up and there was like snow on top of the car. I was surprised. It didn't stick to the ground.
So maybe we should not call this Winter Village. We should call it Missouri Star Village.
There we go. We don't get much snow though. We maybe get 15 inches a year, but it comes 2 at a time or 5 at a time, and then it melts
it's
off.
beautiful, I think.
Yeah, it is beautiful here.
So that kind of winter theme and the weather getting cooler, please come in and join us in the block of the month. I think it's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be really fun. Yeah. Really fun. All right. Did you have a little taper runner you wanted to show us?
Yes, I do. Actually, Michael, would you like to help us with that?
There we go. We're getting some help from
Yes. Yeah.
This is just so cute. So, because this is actually the first month, right?
Yeah, this is the first month. And
here, let's just hold it up right here.
Yeah, isn't it cute? So you have the 3 houses, and notice how bare it looks without any of the applique. And I'm gonna open one of the packages. Oh, let's do the snowflakes. I'm gonna show you how quickly.
Well, this, I just think it's really cool to see things more than one way. So, you know, we see this big quilt right here, but if, you know, when you finish these 3 blocks, like she said, you're going to want to make them again, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. And so then this is, how cute is this for a little space in your house? And then...
Just wonderful. And I keep mine without any applique on it because I can put a yellow flowers in the spring.
Oh, sure.
And I have a beautiful farmhouse feel to my house.
Oh, perfect.
If I take a bowl of apple, I'm ready for 4th of July. But we're talking Winter Village. Let me grab one of the snowflakes.
Well, and that is true, actually, on this, you know, because blue and white is so versatile.
Yeah.
You can use, you know, any little thing, any little applique you wanted to put on there would make it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Look at how quickly it becomes a winter. Yeah,
Isn't
because
that...
I threw some snowflakes onto it.
Really
I absolutely
cute.
love that.
Great idea.
Yeah. And the packages are quite reasonable. You have them, you have 6 snowflakes in it, like I said, and notice how thin the branches on the snowflakes.
Beautifully cut.
You wouldn't want to have this cut by hand.
No.
And when you
No,
cut,
I wouldn't.
laser cut, the edges are slightly burned, so that way they don't fray as much. It's really nice because the fusible really gets stuck to it.
And
so
then your
I like
fusible
that.
just comes off with a little fold, doesn't it?
Yep, that's all. So what I do is I just crease it, wait a few seconds, and look at it, it's separated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be gentle, not pull too hard on it because they're very delicate, but boy, what a nice results and extra feel to the quilt.
So we are so excited about this Winter Village block of the month, and we hope you guys will join us in making it. Really fun project. It's great to have you on the set today.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Stay cozy up with Winter Village.
Oh gosh, yes. And we'll see you later from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.